What's up everyone, it's J-Rock, and today we're looking at these guys. Yep, it's a villager trading hall, and this has built-in zombie discounts. It's tileable, has built-in conversion item storage, built-in overflow storage, and precision villager placement. So, if you want a guy to go right here, and right here, you can make that happen, and you can activate any one of these or turn off any other one. So let's say you want somebody to go here and here, but you want to leave these middle two open. This design completely lets you do that. Yes, it is a little bit more manual than some of the other ones, but now I think it's time to get into the tutorial. So let's look at everything we're going to need for this villager trading hall. Now for each villager pod, we'll need 2 sticky pistons, 7 observers, 2 redstone dust, a button, an iron trapdoor. It's very important that this one is iron. We also need 4 wooden trapdoors. Now that's kind of out of order a little bit. A minecart track. You could hook this up to your villager breeder or wherever else you're bringing your villagers in from. 1 activator rail, and we'll power that with a lever, and we'll want 2 glass to surround that. The redstone lamp is completely optional, but I like to see whenever my activator rails are being powered or not without having to climb all the way up top. We'll need 1 workstation, obviously a villager. We'll need a zombie and a way for him to not despawn, so either a name tag or make sure he can pick up one of your items. About a stack worth of building blocks, at least, and completely optional, you can also have a hopper and another barrel. And I like to use barrels in these because they actually are a full block where chests are not. So if you're walking along and you have a barrel in the floor, like I'm going to be putting one in a moment, you kind of dip down a little bit, and then you kind of have to wiggle your way back out, and it's just gets annoying. It's just easier to use a barrel. You get a full block, you still get the same amount of storage. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and build up our double piston extender and our zombie trench. So we'll go ahead and grab this whole top row here and our building blocks. And we want to go ahead and dig down 2 blocks. I'm going to go ahead and make this about 4 wide. So that's going to be our first one, second one, third one. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, and here's our 4th one. So we want to make sure we give ourselves plenty of room. So that's going to be our zombie trench. And he's just going to wander around in there. So we're going to line this with wooden trapdoors flipped open. And the reason that we're doing this is because the way the double piston extenders work is they work off of a 1-tick pulse, which leaves the trapdoor behind, but that also leaves it open for the zombie to walk right through, right underneath it. So we put this there to keep that from happening. So now over here, dig down 2, and go ahead and place your sticky pistons. And you'll do this for every other one, wherever you have a villager pod that's going to be there. And this is what they're going to stand on top of. And if you want, you can go ahead and even put your wooden iron trapdoors on top of it. And now we want to dig this way out, at least 3 out from the sticky pistons, and just as deep, because now we need to place all of our observers in. Let's fill that in. So I'm going to clear this out, and I'll be back in just a second. Okay, I'm back. I've got this dug out, all 3 blocks out from the sticky pistons, and I went ahead and put in one of the observer setups for the double piston extender, just so I can show you how it works, and then we'll walk through building this second one, and I'll get the other 2 built up after that. So this button will power this block, which powers that redstone. This observer detects that change and powers this. And this is where it gets a little confusing, but having this texture pack that shows kind of the arrows of how everything flows Really helps a lot. So this redstone gets powered, and that observer detects the change. When that happens, two things happen at the same time. This observer detects that one changing, and this one does too. It's looking right at that one. And it's going to power that observer, which is watching this one. But at the same tick as this gets powered, that gets pushed up, and this observer fires, which also powers that one, which causes this one to pulse again, and that observer detects that and pushes that piston up one more time. And when it depowers, all the observers activate again in the same sequence. So this will probably make more sense if we just see it happen. So that was kind of fast, so let's watch it again. Okay. Now that you're thoroughly confused and all of that was clear as mud, let's build one ourselves. So we're going to start with an observer looking up. So we're going to come out all 3 blocks away, and this observer is going to be right here on this block looking up. So this is a little tricky to do. If you have trouble, just dig down 1 or 2 blocks here and place it just like that. Once that's done, come in with your redstone dust and place 1 on top and 1 below. So if you see, as I click that to change it, it'll detect the change and update that below it. After that, go ahead and get another observer and point it right into that redstone dust, and another one right after that. From here, let's go ahead and put these 2 pointing straight down, and you'll want to face 1 observer into the sticky piston, and another one into that observer. Now all that's left is to put our building block up here with our button on top, and we're done. So it's a whole lot simpler to build than it is to explain, but the way this will happen is the villager standing on that to begin with, up on, normal floor level, will hit this button, and it brings them down to zombie level, where they can get converted. Then once that happens, just bring them back up, hit them with your splash potion and golden apple, wait a ridiculously long amount of time, and they're back with better discounts. So I'm going to build the rest of these up and go ahead and get the floor in, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got the floor all in, and we'll just go down the line. You can see all of those are working just as they should, and there's all of the observer mechanisms in place. So we can go right back down the line, and you can see just how tileable these are. They only take up 1 wide. We can activate whichever one and it not affect any of the others. And as I said before, the reason we want iron trapdoors here is so that we don't accidentally right-click them and open them up like we would with regular trapdoors. If that were to happen, they would fall down. We wouldn't really be able to get them back up easily without breaking into things and trying to have them pathfind up along redstone stuff. That wouldn't be very easy to do. So it's best to just avoid it from the start, and that's what I've done here. So now we can put some of the separation in, so we can put some walls in place there, and now we can grab one of our barrels, and we're going to put barrels in between each one. And that's going to hold all of our potions of weakness and golden apples. And a little later on, we can actually also put a barrel right here, and that's going to hold our trades for that villager. Now, if you want, you can put it behind it. You can put it behind where you would stand. And here's the optional part. I'll go ahead and show you. Is you can actually have a hopper pointing in to whichever barrel you've decided needs to go with that villager. So I like mine to be to the left, so I can go right there and get right to my villager. And you can also cover these up with carpets. I didn't mention that in the material list. But I'm going to grab We'll just go with purple carpet. I think that looks good. We'll cover that, all of those up with purple carpet. So that way, whenever you're standing here trading and you get an overflow of stuff, you can just stand here and drop stuff down, and it'll all just end up in that villager's barrel. That's why I like to have mine on the floor. One last thing you probably should do is to put trapdoors on top of all of these, facing sideways. What this will do is provide some separation. So let's say you convert this guy into a zombie villager, and this guy you've already converted and you've got good trades for him, but he's a regular villager and you don't want to convert him again. This will provide a little bit of a barrier so he doesn't attack him and convert him. Now we need to go ahead and put our rail system in place, which also means that it's time to put a roof on this. So usually I'll build this about 5 high. You can make it, as tall or short as you want, but 5 usually is what works for me, and it holds all of the minecart tracks and everything else. What you want to do is run your rails right above where you would be standing. So I'm going to bring this out 1, and that's going to be on 1, 2, the 3rd block up. And I'm going to run this all the way across. And I'm actually going to go ahead and just make a loop so that we can, just for testing, so that we can get villagers in and out of here a little bit easier. Okay, so I've just finished building this up, and all this will simulate will be a villager coming from your villager breeder and coming in on their minecart track, getting dropped off, and going right back to pick up another villager. But I did save this part to do along with you. So what we're going to do is everywhere that there's an opening for the villager to go into, we're going to place an activator rail. So it's going to be every other one. And on the outer part, we have powered rails to bring them in. But on the inside, oh, I actually forgot to put one there. There we go. On the inside here, though, we'll put regular rails. And that'll just keep it going. And I completely forgot the redstone lamps. That'll be a little bit important, and we'll have to go place those rails again. So as I was saying, just place those on the redstone lamps, which is going to be right above where your villager is going to be dropped off at. So now that you've got that rail system in place, we'll grab our levers. And we already have our glass. So on each one of these, I'm going to put a lever, and I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. Although you don't really have to at this stage. I'll go ahead and have them all on. I'll show you how you can be a little bit more selective with that here in just a second. So in between all of these, though, I'm going to put a pane of glass, and then we're going to just surround all this with building blocks. And we want to surround anywhere that the villager may come through or pass through this with glass, because we don't want them to suffocate on the way in. We just want to, put them in a box that they're going to live their whole lives in. It's not like we're being cruel or anything. So as I was saying, come in here, and you can go ahead and build this up as far as you want to. One thing that we do need to make sure of is that we have a roof over all of the places where our villagers are going to be, because as they convert to zombies, they will be damaged by sunlight. If you're building this indoors, you really don't have to worry about that. But since I'm outside, I definitely have to worry about that. So we want to make sure we cover all of that up. Okay, now they are safe. And actually, I messed up here a little bit. We do want to take this up by 1, because the villager will need to be able to pathfind in to their section here. And on top of that trapdoor, we want to bring that up, all the way up, to make sure they don't accidentally slip over into another section that we don't want them to be in. There, and that should be what everything looks like right now. And you can come back along and fill all this in. Okay, and we're almost done. All that's left is, I think, is to get our zombie and our villagers in place. And we need to go ahead and get our workstation. So I'm going to be using a lectern. So the thing about this setup is the workstations just kind of float. You can see there's nothing really under them. But, you know, Minecraft physics says that's okay. It still works. Okay, now our workstations are in, and obviously you'll want to, you know, cycle that trade before you send them in, because it's kind of hard to do that here. Usually, you know, you'll see setups in the front like that, but, you know, I don't like to have to trade with them here, come over to the side, and then all that kind of shuffle back and forth, trade with this guy, then trade with this guy, get the XP, come over here, do that here. No. I would much rather just go along just like this. Get the XP, get the stuff I need. That's why I've got these in the back, and that's why I designed this around having those in the back. Because, let's face it, going back and forth and around and up, and back and forth and around and up, and then back and forth and around and up, it gets old really quickly. So, let's grab some villagers, and let's go ahead and get our zombie in place before anything, though. You can use whatever method you want to get your zombie in. I'm just going to use the old creative spawn egg method. And we'll go ahead and name him Red Tag Sale, because he's going to give us all the discounts. And now he's in his permanent home where he's going to live. And I almost forgot about one very important thing. Slabs. And the reason you'll need these is between each one in the bottom, you want to put 3 slabs. And that will be to prevent them from, you know, walking off the edge into your redstone circuits. And we're leaving the top one open so the zombie has a very good line of sight to your villager. Otherwise, you know, you could be waiting there as long as it takes to, you know, cure one of these guys up before, you know, your zombie actually finds him. Before your zombie actually finds him and gets there. That just makes it a little quicker for him to see where your villager's at and get to him and get him converted. We've got this guy. Great, he just got picked up and he's going to come around and get dropped off. And the reason this works is, of course, activator rails will drop off whatever they're carrying. And so this guy's gotten dropped off now, and he's going to eventually wander down here. Hello, sir. So, I said we needed 4 trapdoors per villager. But we may actually only need 2, and that's okay. If you want to put another one here, that's fine. Go on. There he goes. Now he's path found down to his workstation, and it looks like he's giving us Unbreaking 1. So, obviously, I didn't cycle anything. Just pretend for a second that it's mending. So, great. Unbreaking 1. I mean mending. I mean unbreaking. You get it. So let's lower him down. So now he's down there. Our zombie immediately grabs him, converts him. While he's doing that, oh, there he is already. Let's go ahead and grab our splash potions of weakness and some golden apples. And we're going to put that all in this barrel. And we'll go ahead and bring this guy right back up. So now we'll grab that. Oh, we already had one. That's okay. Got that and that. He'll convert, and while he's doing that, we can get another villager. But I don't want to put him right there. I want to put him all the way over here. So let's grab this. He's going to get sent along, and he got spit out just at the right spot. Now I can turn that off, and he's going to pathfind down to this workstation. Now, one thing that is a little bit frustrating about this is the villager pathfinding mechanics. It takes them a while sometimes to get down there. But let's face it, are villagers ever easy to work with? Ever? I think the correct answer there is no. Absolutely not. So once he comes down, he'll be good to go. While that's going on, we can get even another villager in. Okay. And he got spit out right there. Oh, and immediately straight down. So let's send both of these guys down. Let's see if we can convert them in bulk. And while that's going on, let's grab another villager. And you can see just how precise this is with getting your villagers just where you want them to be. And they can be at any stage during any point of this. No, sir. No, you're not supposed to be that. Okay, thank you. Go away, sir. So this is one obvious flaw, though, with using barrels, is that they are tied to fishermen. So if you see that you have a lot of fishermen picking up trades instead of the ones that you placed back there, just replace that with chests. Replace all these with chests. And you can replace this with slabs. You can replace that with bottom slabs. And replace those with chests. And you can cover all of that also up with carpet. That way you can still walk just fine and not get brought down by the chest not being a full block. And you can also do the same thing with that. Let's go ahead and send this guy down to get converted. Bring you back up. And obviously, you can put, just have that open like that and cover up your hoppers if you want. And one other thing I did want to touch on is the reason these guys aren't escaping, even with that gone, is because they're 2 blocks tall. Since they're standing... Oh, hello, sir. Okay, so it went down from 40 to 15 for mending. And from 24 to 18 paper. That's pretty good. I think we can do better. Let's send you back down. But back to what I was saying. The reason these guys cannot get out from where they're stuck, is because they're 2 blocks tall, and since they're standing on a trap door, that raises their hitbox just by that much to where they cannot fit through that, even as a normal villager, because zombie villagers are just a little taller. And one other thing you can do with this design is shut that trap door, throw one right in between, and get 2 for the price of 1. And one other thing I wanted to point out is before this guy got converted, he was standing right next to this guy as a zombie villager. Didn't even touch him. So let's bring him back up. So there you go. This was my zombie-powered villager trading hall with curing item storage and trading storage with precision villager placement and a tileable design. So make this as compact or as long or wrapped around as you want. And it'll work for you as long as you repeat this pattern that I've shown you here. So, as always, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like. If you use this in your world, let me know down in the comments. And if you want to see more stuff like this, make sure to subscribe. And thanks for watching. See ya.